On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the new and improved 2022 Trek Marlin 5. This is one of the most popular entry-level mountain bikes available on the market today, and we've got the opportunity to have 3 of them in front of us to check out what's new and different for 2021, go over some of the mainstays of this bike and who would ride it, and then finally, we'll find out exactly what it weighs. So if this kind of thing is interesting to you, I suggest you hang back, sit back, and check out all the new things about the 2022 Trek Marlin 5. The Trek Marlin 5 has been one of the more popular entry-level hardtail mountain bikes for quite some time, and much of that has to do with the fact that this bike is going to have very versatile geometry. It's going to come in 2 wheel sizes and a huge range of frame sizes. And then it can be used from everything from entry-level mountain biking to commuting, or even being a nice hybrid for somebody who wants a little more rugged dual sport style bike. And how Trek gets around doing that is first off by doing smart wheel size. The Marlin 5, it's going to come in a 27.5 on the size small and extra small. So we're checking out an extra small here. Small and extra small will have this swoop to the top tube of the bike, and then they're going to run these smaller 27.5 by 2.2 inch tires. These tires and spec are going to be similar to what we get on the 29 inch version, but on smaller frame sizes, they're doing a smaller wheel size to make sure everything matches up together. Then when we go size medium, like this lithium gray bike here, and larger, you'll see that it's going to be matched up with 29 by 2.2 inch tires. So again, running the same spec, but here we're going to have a medium, medium large, all the way up through to the largest size of these bikes are going to be set up with that 29 inch wheel. You'll also notice that they're going to get the more straight top tube to the bike, and that's really going to be one of the indicators between the 27.5 and 29 is that curve to the top tube. Now, it's also interesting to mention for 2022, there's not going to be a difference between a men's and a women's version of the Trek Marlin. So regardless of your height or your preference, you're able to get the bike that's going to fit and look best for you. So here we've got the lithium gray color. Then we're going to have the Volt to Miami blue, which personally is my favorite. And then finally, we've got the Azure color, and these come out looking super nice. And they're going to have little Easter eggs like having a Marlin riding a mountain bike. And these frames are going to be made out of silver alpha aluminum. Now, this aluminum is going to allow them to have internal cable routing. This is shaped tubing, and you'll see on all of these bikes, they're going to come out with a real clean look. You know, the design of the frame with all the cables going on the inside here is going to be nice. It means putting them on a car rack, you're not going to have anything to worry about clamping through. But the internal cable routing comes down and comes out just under the bottom bracket. And the reason they do that is that's going to make cable replacement and routing much easier in the future. So it's all internal on the front end, and then it comes external out to the back of the bike for both the shift and the brake routing. Now for suspension, these bikes are going to have something new for 2022. They've gone to this SR Suntour XCT30. This is going to be a 30 millimeter stanchion fork, which is up from a 28 millimeter stanchion on the 2021 model. So that's going to give the front end a little more stiffness, a little more robust feeling. And then they're also going to have a progressive lockout that you can go all the way down, or as you open it up, the damping is going to get a bit more active. And then on the left-hand side, you're going to have very minimal adjustment with this preload adjuster. So it is a more basic fork, but I'm really happy to see that they added that 30 millimeter stanchion for 2022. The other major change for 2022 is going to be set up in the drivetrain of this bike. So as you can see here, this is now going to be set up with a 2x8 drivetrain. So that means up front, we're going to have just 2 rings. The previous model had 3. And then out back, you're going to have 8 speeds where the previous model had 7. So this is set up using a Shimano Altus M310 rear derailleur. It's then going to operate through a 1232 8-speed cassette. And then you're going to pull forward to this aluminum crankset with a threaded square taper bottom bracket, where you're going to have a 36-22 chainring combination. So all of that geekery with numbers really just means that this is going to have a similar range to the previous model, just now with only 2 rings up front, which means you're going to need to do quite a bit less shifting on these Shimano trigger shifters. So the shifters themselves work with an index finger that you can grab to go to a harder gear, and a thumb button that's going to bring it to an easier gear. And I like that it's got an indicator so you can see what gear that you're in. On the left-hand side, super simple, same idea. Thumb button brings you to a harder gear, index finger to an easier gear, indicated with the 1 and the 2 on the shifters. To bring the bike to a slow, you got some Tektro M276 hydraulic brakes. These are going to be a mineral oil brake, which means they're going to perform in a ton of conditions. They operate a 2-piston caliper on 160 millimeter rotors on the front and the rear. For a wheel set, you're set up with these Bontrager connection rims. This is going to be a double-walled alloy rim. And what that means is basically there's 2 arch shapes inside of this rim to make it a bit stronger so that when you're going over curbs or rocky terrain, it's going to be more durable. They're 20 millimeters wide, and then you're going to be laced up through 32 holes to formula hubs on the front and the rear. You'll notice that this is set up with 9mm quick releases, so this is standard 100mm spacing, so quick release making it easy to take the wheel on and off. And on the back, you're going to have that same easy quick release, just only in a 135 sizing. You'll also notice we've got spots here for fenders and racks. So this bike can run a rack setup on the bike with rack mounts on the front and the rear. It can also run fenders on the back if you wanted. Up front, you would have to run more of a down tube fender, but having a fender set up in the back, that's going to be most important for keeping stuff off of your back while riding. The other thing that I love about this is it's going to be set up with a mount for a kickstand. So while not everyone who's using this bike would want a kickstand, if you're using this as a commuter or a hybrid, it's really nice to have that dedicated kickstand mount so that you can get one separate and be ready to go. Last things to mention here is it is going to come with some nylon flat pedals, an aluminum 31.6 seat post, which has a Bontrager Arvada saddle. This saddle is actually a bit more comfortable than it looks, but a place where some people will upgrade. And then going forward, you've got these aluminum Bontrager handlebars with an aluminum stem that's set up for blender. So it's got a spot here where you could mount in an adapter to be able to add your cell phone, a light, even a GPS if you wanted to the front end. And that's going to give a spot to have that mounted to the handlebar without having anything clicked on, and it's a nice little piece of integration. So really, these bikes have been upgraded for 2022, I think in ways that are going to make a difference. Having that 2x rear drivetrain, having the thicker, stronger front fork, and these guys coming in that smart wheel size with 100 millimeters of suspension travel really makes for a nice bike. Well, now let's go ahead and find out what a size extra small with a 27.5 wheel weighs, and then we'll find out what a size medium with a 29er weighs. The 27.5 extra small comes in and weighs 27.82 pounds. The 29-inch size medium is going to come in and weigh 30.09 pounds. Thanks for watching this video on the 2022 Trek Marlin 5. I hope you enjoyed seeing the colors that these bikes come in, the different frame styles with the different wheel sizes, and I'm curious to see what you think of the parts upgrades down in the comment section below. So give me your thoughts down there. Don't forget to hit the like button and be sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you can see more videos like this in the future.